Welcome to ValueVest Daily, where we analyze various hot topics related to health, food, and lifestyle. Today, we are tackling a molecule that might just be secretly running the show when it comes to your health. You've probably heard of it, but believe me, you likely don't know its full story. Okay, let's get into it. So we're taught to think of uric acid as a problem, right? The culprit behind the absolute agony of gout. But is that the whole picture? What if I told you that this so-called waste product is actually one of your body's most powerful defenders? Okay, here's the twist. Uric acid is kind of leading a double life. On one hand, yeah, it's the leftover stuff from breaking down compounds called purines, which are in our food and our cells. But on the other hand, it's a superhero antioxidant. I mean, it's responsible for up to 60% of our body's power to fight off cellular damage, especially in the brain. That's huge. But what happens when this guardian gets a little overzealous? You know, when its levels get too high? That's a condition called hyperuricemia. The shield basically shatters. And our hero, well, it turns into a saboteur, causing all sorts of chaos from the inside out. Now, the most famous sign of high uric acid is, of course, gout. We're talking agonizing, sharp crystals forming in your joints. But I want you to think of gout as just the visible tip of a massive iceberg. It's definitely the loudest warning sign, but the real danger, that's happening beneath the surface, silently damaging your body in ways you can't even feel yet. For decades, we've pointed the finger at things like red meat, seafood, and alcohol. And look, they definitely play a role, don't get me wrong, but the latest science has uncovered a far, far bigger player in this whole game: fructose. And we're not just talking about soda. This stuff is everywhere, hiding in plain sight in foods we think of as healthy. Okay, this is where things get really fascinating. See, fructose flips an ancient survival switch in our bodies. For our ancestors, getting a big hit of fructose from, say, autumn fruits was a signal to pack on fat for the coming winter. Uric acid was the messenger that yelled, "Hey, famine's coming, store fat now." It was a brilliant evolutionary strategy. But in our world, with fructose available 24/7, 365 days a year, that survival switch is just stuck in the on position. And that's a recipe for a modern metabolic disaster. You might be thinking this is all about what you eat, but here's a stat that might blow your mind. 2/3 of the uric acid in your body is produced by your own body. Fructose just acts like a powerful catalyst, sending your internal production into hyperdrive. It's literally like pouring gasoline on a fire that's already burning. So, what happens when this survival switch is permanently flipped on? What's the real consequence? Well, the damage is far-reaching, it's insidious, and it creates this domino effect of chronic health problems. Let's take a look at some of that collateral damage. The evidence is it's overwhelming. Persistently high uric acid is linked to a staggering 25% increased risk of cardiovascular disease. It can make kidney disease get worse 2 to 3 times faster, and it's even connected to a significant rise in the risk for certain cancers. And the common thread through all of this? Chronic, smoldering inflammation. You see, uric acid is like a master regulator of your metabolism. So when it's out of balance, it sets the stage for so many of our most feared modern diseases. We're talking insulin resistance, fatty liver, high blood pressure. It even damages the little powerhouses in our cells, the mitochondria. And now, scarily enough, we're seeing a clear connection to cognitive decline. Okay, I know, this all sounds pretty bleak. But here's the good news. This knowledge is power. Seriously, by understanding uric acid's role as this key signaling molecule, we can actually take back the controls and start steering our metabolic health in the right direction. The very first step, you have to know your number. Your lab report might come back and say anything under 7.0 is normal. But the science of optimal health, it tells a very different story. The target you really want to be aiming for is 5.5 milligrams per deciliter, or even lower. That's the sweet spot. That's where your risk for all these chronic diseases just plummets. So how do you get there? It all starts with a few simple but really powerful changes. The main goal, number one, is to cut way back on fructose, especially from sugary drinks and juices. Then you want to focus on bringing in more protective things, like plenty of water, tart cherries, even coffee, and foods that are loaded with vitamin C and a cool compound called quercetin. It's not about deprivation, it's just about making smart swaps. Dr. David Perlmutter, who's a real pioneer in this field, puts it perfectly. He says we're triggering this survival pathway 365 days a year because of our constant exposure to fructose. It's just a profound way of looking at the total mismatch between our ancient genes and our modern world. So, as we wrap up, I want you to think about this. What if the key to unlocking your best health isn't some brand new discovery, but a deeper understanding of an ancient molecule that's been with us all along? Uric acid might just be the missing piece of your personal health puzzle. Now, of course, this information is for educational purposes and is not medical advice. It's so important that you always consult with a qualified health professional for any of your personal health concerns and needs. Please subscribe, like, and share Value Vest Daily to aware life-changing topic covering your health and happiness. And hey, one more thing. Please put in the comments if you want us to deep dive into any specific topic. We'd love to hear from you. Thanks for watching.